Now we're going to add a stronger highlight to the brow bone. I'm going to use a highlight on this, and guess where I'm going to use it? On the brow bone. And also, take note on the colors I'm using. I'm not just using green, and I'm not just using black, but I'm also using a teal, and I'm using yellow. Now, yellow really works with this specific green because it's a yellow green. If you're working with a blue green, and note, look at my palette, the yellow green I'm using, but that's a blue green. So a light blue would actually make a beautiful highlight with that one. And we're adding yellow to the brow bone. And working this up into the highlight I've already done. And take your sponge, and I like to use a lot of clean sponges, and work them together as one unit. And this way you've contoured now the above and below of the brow bone. You can also go in and highlight the lid. You'll notice it's a slightly curved brush. I'm using the flat of it because I'm doing a flat area. Now earlier I was doing the brow bone with this as the long part of the brush. So long part of the brush, flat part of the brush. Small amount of water onto my brush, and it reactivates the aqua color on my brush. And then I'm getting a little bit more of an opaque and brighter value. Okay, next step, contouring. Now I don't want to have pure black in her eye, so I'm going to mix this with a little bit of green, and I'll get army green. This will just take the zing out of the black, so it doesn't look so obviously black. Now I'm going to use the thin part of my brush. I'm going to remove the excess makeup. I'm going to blend. Sometimes it's easier to blend over into the highlight or over into the contour and go back with your opposite brush and blend that back into it. And you'll see you'll get this beautiful contouring. Okay. Have your model keep their eyes shut while this is still damp, and you can go in and actually line the eyes with this. So now I'm using the full high octane black, and we're going to use this as liner. So now that we've gone through and used Aquacolor to do our contouring and essentially using the Aquacolor as eyeshadow. We used a dark eyeshadow, we used a highlight on the brow bone, we mixed a little bit of our aqua black with some green, which thinned it out to make it a medium toned black, if that makes any sense. It ashened the black out and kept it in our color palette, and then we used pure black to line the eye and deepen the crease. If we wanted to pump up the color, we can use eyeshadows. We're going to use yellow as our highlight. Because we're going to work in thick areas, we'll use the thick side of our brush. So now I'm going to take the eyeshadow, and also when you're doing eyeshadows, make sure you fleck the brush to get excess powder off. I'm now mixing between the two a green and this shadow color. These colors are so strong and so wonderful that we're actually able to create a nice gradation between the yellow, then the green, then the black. Again, we're taking no regard for the underneath because we're just going to wipe it all off. Come back with a baby wipe. Remove any of the powder that's flipped down. Okay, now we're going to work on the rest of the areas. Starting with the nose. We'll fill in this, blending out the highlight. Now, also important to contouring the nose. Don't paint down the nose, which would be at the diagonal, because then you'll have a wider nose. Make sure you paint down the bridge of the nose. Okay, great. Now onto the cheek. Now that I've worked out this cheek, we're going to go back and put a little more foundation back on it. Black and contour. You go back and forth with your brush, and if you put very little pressure on, you're able to manipulate out a more buff and clean look. And now if you see we have little bumps there, the little brush strokes, we'll just sponge those right out. Squish of the grapes. Now that we've done the coloring and contouring with our aqua colors, we've let it dry. We can go back with a large eyeshadow brush and we can add in highlight with powder to pop. So now I'm adding the yellow. Go in, follow the cheekbone. I'm going to switch to a softer brush now. We can do more general areas now that we got our highest point. Okay, and the last two things we'd like to do is we'll take a little bit of this black aqua color. We're going to make sure our bristles are nice and crisp, and we're going to do a little bit of liner work. Smoky up this eye. And that is how to use Aquacolors. We're here at Makeup First. This is Lane and I'm Dave Bova, and we hope to see you soon.